You know, there's something many of us find pretty confusing: the silence of boys and men. It's so often misunderstood, but what if there's a whole language being spoken in that quiet? What if we could actually learn to understand it? Let's dive in.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You see a quiet boy or a man and the assumptions just start rolling in. Oh, he's bored with the conversation, he's being cold, maybe even a little arrogant. Or worse, you think he just doesn't care at all. It's the easy label to stick on him.
But hang on a second. What if that silence isn't a void? What if it's not a sign of him being uninterested, but it's actually something much, much deeper? That's the big question we're going to tackle here.
Let's just break this down. On one side, you have the common assumptions: emptiness, apathy, disinterest. But the reality, well, it's often the complete opposite. It's depth. It's a mind that is absolutely full. It's a mind that's busy processing everything.
So let's dive into our first big idea, the mind's workshop. This is all about getting our heads around the fact that a quiet exterior often hides a very, very active inner world.
So while he might look totally still on the outside, his mind is just racing. He's replaying what you just said, analyzing your tone, imagining different ways the future could play out based on this one moment. He's thinking about what he should have said 5 minutes ago, the different paths he could take, and all the unspoken responsibilities he's carrying. Trust me, it's anything but empty in there.
A big reason he doesn't just talk is because his thoughts aren't finished yet, and for him, speaking halfway feels wrong. To him, you see, words aren't just sounds, they're commitments. They're final. Once they're out there, you can't take them back. And that's why he waits, until he's absolutely sure.
And when things go wrong, his silence literally becomes a workshop. Instead of just talking it out right away, he goes through this kind of mental checklist, methodically. He's trying to figure out the solution before he even opens his mouth.
And this connects directly to that super frustrating moment when you ask, what's wrong? And the answer you get is nothing. It doesn't mean nothing is actually wrong. What it really means is, I'm not finished thinking yet. I haven't found the answer in my workshop.
All right, let's move on and see how this all builds. Now we're going to look at how societal pressures basically teach boys to manage their entire inner world quietly, which in turn creates what you could call an armor of silence.
Think about it. From a young age, boys just kind of absorb these unspoken rules. They're taught that being strong means you endure things silently, that your emotions are something you're supposed to manage in private, not share with everyone. So talking about your problems can feel like you're breaking these really fundamental rules.
And this is a really critical point. It's so important to see his withdrawal for what it often is. It's not an attack, it's not him trying to punish you, it's a defense mechanism. He's protecting himself from being judged or misunderstood while he's still trying to figure things out.
So what exactly is he protecting inside that armor? Well, it's a whole spectrum of really powerful emotions. First up, there's disappointment. He might not know how to express it without feeling like he's complaining, which, goes against those rules he's learned his whole life.
And then, of course, there's anger. An anger that he holds on to really tightly, trying to keep it contained, because the last thing he wants to do is let it out unfairly or say something permanent, something he can never take back.
And underneath all of that, you'll often find fear. Now, this is a crucial one. It's an emotion he's been taught is a sign of weakness, something he believes he should never, ever admit to feeling.
And maybe the most surprising of all, he's protecting love, a powerful, sometimes overwhelming feeling that can make him feel incredibly vulnerable, a feeling he might be terrified to show until he is absolutely certain it's safe. Okay, so this brings us to a really fascinating and honestly kind of counterintuitive idea. What if his silence, especially with the people he's closest to, is actually a sign of respect and care? Just look at this comparison. With people he just knows casually, it's easy, right? The jokes are loud, the words are light, they don't carry much weight. But with you, someone whose opinion actually matters to him, he gets cautious. He thinks before he speaks because he's terrified of hurting you or losing you.
And this is so important to remember. That quiet focus you see, that's not him pulling away from you. It's him leaning in. It's him giving you his full attention and considering your feelings with a weight he doesn't give to anyone else.
Okay, so we've dug into the why. So let's shift gears and talk about the how. How can we actually build a bridge to that inner world and start to hear what's not being said out loud?
This is really the key takeaway. What he wishes you knew is that his silence is not rejection. He wishes you just sit with him in that quiet, offering your presence instead of pressure. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can possibly do
is just give him the space and the permission to think. And because of all this, when he does finally choose to speak, you have to understand what a big deal that is. It is a profound act of trust and vulnerability. He's sharing the finished product from his workshop, thoughts he's probably carried alone for a long time. It's so important that we just listen without jumping to conclusions.
So, we really need to redefine silence. In a world that's always so loud, it's really easy to mistake quiet for weakness. But it's not. It's a space for observation, for processing, for growth. It's where his actions become thoughtful and intentional.
And this brings us right back to the core message. The next time you encounter that quiet, just resist that urge to fill it or to assume that it's a void. I want you to make a totally different assumption.
Because, as we've seen, the most profound thoughts, the most intense battles, and the most careful processing, that's all happening in the quiet. Some minds, it turns out, are loudest when the mouth is silent. Think about that for a minute.